So hey guys, this is TeamOverclocked bringing you guys a $450 gaming PC build for the months of August and September 2016. In terms of benchmarks, this PC can play all games at 1080p high settings with very decent frame rates, which is to be expected at this budget. So let's get started. For the CPU, I chose the AMD Athlon X4 880K for $84. Now this is a quad-core chip, which is really important these days since a lot of games are starting to utilize all 4 threads. It's also clocked at 4 GHz and turbos up to 4.2 GHz, which is a really high clock speed, and you can overclock it to get even more performance out of this chip. So for $84, this is a great value. For the motherboard, I chose the ASRock FM2 A68M-DG3 Plus for $45. This is a micro ATX motherboard with 2 RAM slots and 4 SATA 6GB ports. It uses the AMD A68 chipset and has RAID support. Unfortunately, it has no USB 3.0 headers, but it does have USB 3 ports on the rear I/O. Next up, for the RAM, I chose the G.Skill AEGIS 8GB set for $31. This is a 1x8GB set clocked at 1600 MHz. 8GB is the perfect amount for gaming, and you can video edit with this amount as well. For the hard drive, I went with the Seagate Barracuda 1TB for $47. This spins at 7200 RPM, which is pretty standard, and this will serve as your mass storage for this PC, so you can store your OS and a few games on this as well. For the GPU, I chose the MSI R9 380 for $175. Now this has 4GB of VRAM, which is really important these days for 1080p gaming, because a lot of games like GTA 5 really eat up the VRAM. It's also clocked at 970 MHz, which isn't too high, but overclocking this should be pretty easy. It has a TDP 190 watts, which is pretty average, and it also has crossfire support, which is nice to see. This is great for 1080p 60fps gaming, which is achievable in basically all games, especially if you turn down the settings a bit. For the case, I chose the Thermaltake Versa H21 for $36. Now this has front panel USB 3.0 and cable management options, which is really nice to see, so cable management is not going to be a really painful process. It also has lots of drive bays and really good airflow since this has 6 fan mounts. And all around, this is a really great case for the price, and I personally own this and I really enjoy it. For the power supply, I chose the EVGA 500W ATX power supply for $32. Now this is 80 plus certified, which is really nice because that means 80% of the power is going to be going to your power supply at all times. It's also made by EVGA, which is a really reputable power supply manufacturer, and they're known for their good capacitors as well. So that's all for today, guys. If you liked the video, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it, and subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.